This blind man is the most famous doctor in the palace, but no one knew that at night he would miraculously regain his sight. Thus, he could see many of the palace's secrets. That night the oil lamp suddenly went out and Jack saw an image he would never forget. The concubine's perfect body was fully exposed in front of him. Jack could only pretend to be calm, and with trembling hands, he completed the acupuncture on the consort's buttocks. The concubine greatly appreciated his skill, rewarding him with a whole chest of gold. But that day, an accident happened. The prince suddenly falls ill, and the royal physician drags Jack to his rescue. After an examination, the head doctor concluded that the prince was suffering from a disease and needed immediate treatment. The panicked man rushed to help, but he soon realized something was wrong. There was a strong smell of blood on the towel handed over by the chief physician. Coincidentally, the lights in the house were blown out by the wind. Jack immediately saw a horrible scene. The prince was covered with silver needles by the chief physician and had strong convulsions. The chief physician was constantly wiping the prince's blood from his body. Jack was stunned and showed a horrified expression. However, the chief physician noticed everything. He slowly approached the man, cautiously testing him. Fortunately, Jack's heart was strong enough not to show any panic.
나으리, 명주천이 또 필요하십니까?
So he was able to escape for the time being. The head doctor breathed a sigh of relief. Then he grabbed the towel from Jack's hand and began to destroy the murder evidence. The chief imperial physician lit the candle, and by the time Jack turned his gaze to the prince again, his eyes had reverted to a white haze. Jack and the head doctor left the prince's chambers, but when the head doctor went back to rest, Jack hurriedly ran back, intending to attempt a rescue. But by then, the prince had already died. Suddenly, the man realized that there was a silver needle in the prince's head. Clearly, it had been left by the chief physician, and this became the only evidence of this tragedy. At that moment, the imperial doctor's voice came from outside the door. Jack rushed to hide. It turned out that the imperial doctor had just arrived home and realized that one of his needles was missing, so he rushed back to look for it. Jack saw the opportunity, intended to escape through the window, but accidentally dropped the silver needle on the ground. Jack saw this and immediately reached out to pick up, but coincidentally, the silver needle actually fell in the cracks on the floor. He finally picked up the needle after a lot of effort, but at that moment, the imperial doctor in the room heard the sound. Jack hurriedly jumped out of the window. Then he hung on to his crutches and started to run away. When the doctor arrived, he only saw the man's back. The chief physician tried to chase him but was stopped by the prince's guards. The doctor had the bright idea of announcing the prince's death to the crowd. He blamed it all on the man who had fled through the window. The palace was in chaos, and the king was paralyzed with rage at the news of his own son's death. He immediately ordered all the palace gates to be closed and vowed to make it impossible for the assassin to escape. But capturing an assassin in such a vast palace was not so simple. That's when the guards found a new clue. They found a pool of blood in front of the window where the assassin escaped. They concluded that the assassin must have been wounded when he escaped. The captain of the guards immediately ordered everyone in the palace to strip and be checked. As long as there are new wounds, it must be the assassin. Jack was afraid of being caught, so he took the imperial doctor's needle and found the prince's wife. He told her everything that had happened to the prince. They agreed to report the matter to the king the next day, but as soon as Jack left, the guards spotted him. Now he was in deep shit. If the guards searched him, they would certainly find the injury on his leg, and that would mean certain death for him.